Hi, my name is Jesse at Trash Panda, and I currently make fully recycled discs. It's been a really long road to get to where we are today, and the biggest problems can be boiled down to thickness and weight. But I just made a disc in the new mold, and let me show you something. It may not seem like much, but making a disc to be the perfect weight is an amazing feeling. But even though the weight problem is solved, it's still a little thick, like too thick. This might just be a hard plastic, but I'm not super convinced of that. I mean, detergent bottles are made from the same type of plastic, and those seem to be perfectly flexy. So maybe the plastic's not too hard, maybe the disc is just too thick. So let's go out to a field, see how she flies, and maybe do a little stress testing. All right, I have a couple of the new prototypes and I'm out in this field. If you've seen the previous two, you know that they were really understable. I'm hoping this one comes out more stable. We'll see. All right, I'm super happy with how those flew. Super stable, fade at the end. Loved it, that's perfect. The thing I'm not confident about is stress testing. I'm just gonna throw it into this wall a few times, probably like 50-60% power, and see what happens. I don't suggest trying this with discs, but I wanna make sure this thing's strong. Well, this is not what I was hoping for. I mean, I don't think anyone's throwing directly into concrete walls, but still, this is not good. But after talking to a bunch of people this weekend, I think I've nailed down the problem, and it actually might be the root of all the other problems too. Let me explain. A bunch of people have asked me how I got into this whole thing and if my background is engineering, and not at all. My formal degree is to be a pastor. So the closest I ever got to making anything in my degree was the fact that Jesus was a carpenter. If my background was in engineering, some of the problems I'm facing, well, I wouldn't be facing them. But I'm also a learner, so with every new problem, I kind of see it as my education in a new field. The most glaring realization of this was recently on a phone call with one of my subscribers, shout out to Alex, who knows SolidWorks super well. We were diagnosing the problem and he was like, have you just cut into a disc and measured it and compared it to the SolidWorks file? I literally put my face in my palm and was like, duh, you should have done that months ago. So I cut into the disc I made, which is supposed to be 1.85 millimeters in the middle, and after cutting into prototypes 1 and 2 as well, I realized that basically every prototype has been off by 1 millimeter. After digging into it this weekend and trying to realize where the mistake was made, I found it. I messed up the files that I was sending to the machinist. So yes, this is a bummer and it's gonna take more time. But I'm kind of getting used to that at this point. And it's really good news because now we know the actual problem, and actually we know all of the problems. One way to say it would be that this disc, which was made out of mold 4.0, was actually machined from the files from mold 3.0. So mold 4.0 is actually mold 3.0. So it's time to chart out a super specific plan for what's next. First, perfect the damn mold. The flight plate needs to be thinner so it can flex and it has some absorption when it hits something hard, which means I'll have to thin that out, but also add material to the outside to keep it at the right weight. And secondly, send the right files to the machinist. While that's all happening, I'm hoping to also test out some new plastics to see if I can figure out maybe if there's a better plastic that's commonly produced in our world that would work better for a disc. Please subscribe to support the channel, and we'll see you next time.